So recently someone asked me to do like a macros, tips and tricks video to kind of follow up on the Ret Reckoning thing I put out a couple weeks ago. And there's not too much to say, this should be pretty quick. But the main things are like, the playstyle is straightforward, you beat the crap out of people. When you have free global cooldowns, like you're not putting up Seal of Command and you're not judging. You just like spam cleanse on the best target, but like best prior you can find, or you look for a good target for Blessing of Freedom, or you look for a good target for Blessing of Sacrifice. And that's kind of almost all you need to do. And then it's like, if you're dying, you can bubble, you can heal that way. And a lot of it is just knowing when you can heal. And for your healing, you're almost always gonna want to just do max rank Holy Lights, because it's so fast. Like the healing that you put out is really effective compared to the time you spend, and it eats up your mana bar a lot, but that just is what it is. If you're really low, you can spam flash or lights, but it's like at some point the healing that you're outputting is less than the damage that you would be doing to the other team, so you have to value it that way. But like, know when you're free and no one's attacking you, if someone on your team really needs a heal, throw a Holy Light on them. If there's only one person on you and you need a healer or someone else, you can hodge that target and then throw out some Holy Lights, just because you don't have that talent from the Holy Tree that gives you the pushback immunity. So you're just, anytime you get hit, you're going to get pushback, so you have to look out for it. And the other time is like, if you're in a bubble, you can go for some big heals. Obviously look out for counter spells and crap. Bandaging is pretty big, because you are not going to have great mana efficiency on your heals, and you're going to be going from fight to fight. So bandage when you can. Even just like bandage or bubble into bandage can be pretty effective sometimes. And yeah, just know always freedom on someone, always sacrifice on someone, so you don't get sapped, or you don't get blinded, or you don't get polyed. Alright, and then for add-ons, I would say you're definitely going to want this thing right here is weapon swing timer, so that you can see your opponent's weapon swings, so that you know when, I guess I should run out, but you know when to do a sit strafe to build a Reckoning stack. And that's going to be a huge part of the build, is when you can, if you're in a duel or if someone's pet is on you and you're just like running up to them, that you don't waste time just like getting smacked around, that you are like actively building Reckoning stacks for a bomb, because that's where a ton of your damage comes from, and that's why Reckoning is so scary. Let me see if I can run out of 10 real quick. But the other thing you're going to want is weak auras. I don't know what it's called, weak auras 2 maybe. But you are going to want this, and you're going to want, I don't have it now because everything, I just reset my UI. But you're going to want a Reckoning stack tracker, just to make it easier on yourself, so that you can see how many stacks you have, whether you're hitting the timings right or not on sit strafing. It helps a shitload, I'll just say. So look it up or make one. I think I would just do from template, and then you do icon, and then you do like whatever size, and it's ability Reckoning. You might have to do some other stuff for it. I'm sure you can Google it and find it online, but that is a huge help. On top of that, for macros, you don't need to worry about too much. Just make sure you don't have start attack in all your macros, because it will bite you in the ass. Because the way Reckoning works, like look at this. This is something like a normal Paladin might run. And even on like your seal macros, you might have start attack in there. So you're not going to want to do this. You're going to want... Oh, actually, this is what you're going to want to do because of this string. But you wouldn't want to do this and just have start attack on all your abilities, which is common. You want to make sure that you only have start attack on like 1 or 2 keys, and you know what the assign is for it. Because when you're building Reckoning stacks, if you have any, and you start attack, and for whatever reason you cancel the attack, it burns all your stacks. Other things you want to look out for is if you mount. I'm pretty sure, I don't know if this got changed, and I don't know if it interacts differently in Battlegrounds, but to my knowledge, and just test it, I don't have Reckoning right now, so I can't test, but if you mount, I think you lose all your stacks. If you change your weapons, you definitely lose all your stacks, so you can't be like, I'm going to use a shield, and then when I have stacks, I'm going to switch to my two-hander and beat the shit out of somebody. Cannot do that. And the last thing is you can't start your attack. So like, let's say I have stacks, and I'm not sure if it's the swing timer. If you start a swing, you for sure lose your stacks if you get stunned or if you switch targets. But if you just have this going, I think it might burn them if you swap to somebody else, or if you get stunned. I'm not 100% about that, but just be really careful. Ooh. It'd be nice if I had some Reckoning stacks right now. Actually, I'm just gonna let this guy go. But be really careful about that. That's why if I was you when I was doing reckoning, I'd only did this one macro that was, so it stops this unless I'm holding shift, and if I'm holding shift, all it does is start my attack swing. Something like that is really nice. And the other thing is just to make sure that you have sit bound somewhere convenient, because you're going to want to do a lot of sit strafing to get crits, and I'll show you what I mean by that right now. So when something's attacking you, alright, you see the swing timers going out? So if you get crit, you build a stack of reckoning. My weapon swing isn't active, so it's not going to do the weird thing where, like, if we're trading and you get a stack while you're swinging, it'll just reset and you'll swing immediately instead of having 2 swings on your next auto. But if your auto is off and you get crit, oh shoot, I unbound that too. So if you get crit like this, it doesn't do anything. But if I get crit while I'm in the stand-up animation, you see that readout proc? While I'm in the stand-up animation, you can build stacks that way. And I would say, I'm going to be really rusty at it, but I think it's like between 0.2 and 0.1 seconds left in their swing timer. You just want to strafe or move somewhere. Fucking having 2 people going is going to mess it up. It just makes it harder to track the swing timer. But see that you just stand at the end, that would be 1 stack. You would keep doing it up to 5 stacks or 4 stacks. I don't really, it's been a minute, but using this technique is really good. You sit, it's about to attack, you get up, boom, reckoning stacks, and then you'd be like, I have all my stacks, and then you would want to stun too, like Hand of Justice or Seal of Justice, to get a stun on them, especially if they're a rogue, because that denies their chance to like dodge and parry, I believe is the 2, but it just makes it harder for them to get that, like, those like random bullshit evade things going. So that's pretty much it. Look out for that stuff, get the add-ons, watch your weapon swings, do sit strafe critting, especially in duels. That's super effective, and especially if you're running and someone has a pet on you, you can do it really fast like that. You can get one in that shorter period. It's pretty nice. But yep, that's it. So hopefully you learned something. Cheers. And also, if this is on the YouTube, subscribe to the channel. I don't really care about having subscribers, but I need a certain amount to hit to be able to change the URL from being just random bullshit letters. So please please follow or whatever it's called on YouTube. Anyway, cheers. Have a good one.